Hey, friends! I'm Jesse Fisco.
And I'm Ambry Fisco.
As founders of several successful businesses, we've experienced absolute joy and satisfaction working together to build our empire.
Our journey started off as a small business idea and has launched into a multi-million-dollar portfolio. It would have never been possible had Jesse and I not understood the key principles of making it all work together. But it has not been easy.
We found ourselves in the trenches trying to balance real life with business life while maintaining our strong commitment to creating an amazing marriage.
And we've emerged in a beautiful way together. This podcast was created to help you do what we've done, build an amazing marriage together while maintaining balance between life and business.
So here we are. You're listening to the Matrimonial Merger, a couple's guide to balancing life and business.
Let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Matrimonial Merger. Super excited to have you here again. Thanks for tuning in on another beautiful Wednesday. It is currently snowing where we are, which not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. It's great. We need the moisture, but
we didn't even get our sprinklers blown out yet.
We need to do that this week.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
There's like a thread going around in our neighborhood now, like it's like freezing and everyone's like, we got to get our sprinklers blown out. And there's someone in our neighborhood that does that. So now everyone's jumping on. His schedule's going to be insane.
But hey, yeah. Awesome.
Snow's beautiful. Just, I don't know. I just like it. I like when it's a little warmer. I feel like fall always is like one day and then it's just winter.
I'm going to like when we're on that Disney cruise on the beach in the middle of November.
Yeah.
That's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be way nice. I'm just speaking it into reality here.
Oh, man.
But how's your day been?
Good.
Good
Day.
Awesome. Very cool.
Ready to jump in and introduce our topic tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am. In fact, we had an amazing conversation with someone that we've been helping. And, like, her mind has been unlocked a lot. Like, there was a few moments when talking to her, you could just see it and like, whoa, never considered that. And anyways, some huge progress. So go her. She's awesome. She's dropped 11 pounds and that's big. Like that's a lot of weight in a few short weeks. And you guys, Emerge Coaching has literally evolved and is changing the lives and helping people understand themselves. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of Emerge Coaching.
And it just goes to show that like making meaningful and intentional like changes and adjustments, even when they start small, right?
Yeah.
Like make huge impacts on your overall like success and ability to do anything that you're trying to do.
Well, it's like a plane, right? 1% trajectory will put you into a completely different state, right?
I love that analogy. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. So anyways, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Intentional changes that are meaningful and well calculated and understood are super powerful.
And the important part is, of course, having a vision or a goal in life. In fact, just to kind of go into this particular client, she is a survivor of cancer, stage 4, had a 30% chance of living. And we kind of went back and just like talked about that a little bit and said, well, what was some of the things that kept you going? I mean, 30% chance is pretty low. And a lot of the principles we teach in Emerge Coaching, she was living but unaware that those were the things that we were teaching and that this could be an everyday event. Yeah. And it was really, really cool to listen to her and her story and to have the affirmation and the validation that what we are doing is exactly what everyone needs to experience in their life to be their higher and best self and to win bigger.
It's really cool. I
Way
love
cool.
It.
Awesome.
Thanks
I will say, though, the one thing that that she brought up, and we have her permission
to share.
She's an avid listener of the show.
You guys will all appreciate this, though, because this is something that, like what Jesse's about to share, it's not like anything unusual. It's something that a lot of people think and say. And
So as talking, we asked, like, hey, what have you found to be the one thing that you do, to get through that? Like,
she's talking about a like aspect of her life that just looks different than she thought it would, years ago, or and basically like it's just not what she thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And then she dropped the bomb.
So Jesse's like, so what do you do?
Yeah. And she said, I embrace the suck. And Ambry looked right over at me like, oh,
I was like, oh, here we go.
Here we go. And
immediately Jesse's like, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
What do you do?
You embrace the what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. And then, like, of course, in a very good way, like, what does that entail? And, like, we kind of broke it down.
Well, and you asked her, you're like, can I challenge you on that?
Yeah, can I challenge
Sure,
you on
okay.
that thought? But you guys see, here's my problem, is the media has put things out there. You have to embrace the suck. You have to go through hard times. You got to grind. That one's my favorite. You got to work harder to make more money. What's another one you've heard?
Like you can't eat carbs if you're going to lose weight.
One, I've never said it was easy. I only said it was worth it, right? Like you've got to push through these deep things, like, and it will be worth it in the end. Not that that's bad, right? But it's the meaning behind it.
Yeah. Well, and some things aren't easy.
No.
And they're not meant to be. However, like the way that we respond and that we can, the tools that we can use to work through them makes them a lot more enjoyable in the end. And
Absolutely.
so, like, you know, there are things that that may appear not to be easy at times.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about that is the opportunity then we have to learn and decide, hey, I want to approach this differently. I want to like do this in a way that it doesn't seem so hard, or that, you know, maybe it's not totally easy for me, but I'm going to create an outcome where I actually enjoyed the process and, you know, got to the desired outcome in a way that I feel is like ideal and positive. So,
yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'm going to say,
the not easy doesn't have to suck
right
all the time.
And that's the thing is like, how many of you guys find yourselves doing that where you just are telling yourselves these little affirmations in your mind? You think it's an affirmation, or you see the cat hanging by the tree that's like, hang in there, right? Like, you know, that little poster on the wall, right? Like, how many of you guys see that and are telling yourself that you have to go through hard times and that things have to be difficult, or that, quote unquote, you have to embrace the suck?
Yeah.
You see, the problem I have with that is that if you embrace the suck, then you're embracing something that you don't really want, right? Like, I think of someone walking through the house and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you, and you embrace that person, right? Well,
Sure.
now think of the suck actually walking in the house, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to see. You don't want the suck. You've never wanted the suck, right? The suck, get it out of the house, right?
You're like,
you don't
all
want to
these
go
good
hug
things
it.
are here. They're here. It's okay. But when the suck walks in, I'm just going to embrace it.
Right. I'm just going to just get that big.
That's a funny
I'm
visual.
going to give that suck a big freaking hug because I just embrace it. Everyone else, no, just a handshake. But the suck, I'm coming for you, baby. Right?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
It's just going to keep coming back.
It's just
like
going
a
to keep
lost
coming.
kitten.
That's the thing is like, okay, and then think about that. A lost kitten, great example. You give the lost kitten some milk, the cat's coming back.
Yeah.
So are you guys unconsciously attracting the suck more in your life because you're embracing it?
Yeah.
That's definitely something to think about.
For sure. Especially if like you're focused on embracing the suck. Like, you know, because, and we'll talk about like how you can shift that a little bit, because I mean, there are things that are going to happen in our life that are unexpected and, or like not super fun, like things that were like, well, this would have been great if this didn't happen. Right. Like,
Sure.
And that's part of life. That's part of, you know, our experience on earth. And so we're going to talk about how we can shift that a little bit. But if you're focused on like, this is what I do, I embrace the suck. Like that's, you know, that's me. That's what I do. Then I agree. Like it most likely will follow you and find you. And that's another testament to just how powerful our unconscious minds are, and like what we focus on and what we play in our mind truly becomes our reality.
I can't get over the fact, like now I'm over here just seeing like the biggest suck come through the door, and I just want to hug it. You know
What does it look like to you?
Yeah, just that one thing that
Ew,
just
to me, it's a mouse
Is
right
it a
now
mouse?
because we
Yeah.
have a mouse in our house that I really want to catch, and it's driving me crazy.
just imagine like
And I
this
will not embrace that thing.
nasty, hairy, patchy mouse that's been
Ew.
through the mousetrap a few times. It's
So
survived.
gross.
Heavy and just, hey, Ambry. Like, you know what
no,
I mean?
I am not
Ugh.
hugging that.
I'm the suck. Yeah, no. You don't want that, you guys. Like, come on. At what
So
point?
gross.
At what point did you decide that things have to suck? Right?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's easy. I mean, we all do this. Every one of us has these little micro beliefs, right? We talked about one that I was working on, and that one was the if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? That no longer is a program in my mind that serves me. And it should, and this one shouldn't be serving you. And if you guys are over there saying, I'm just going to embrace the suck, like you're literally inviting things that are terrible or things that you don't want into your life because you're quote unquote embracing them.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be in a room with people that you love and that you want, like if you're going to embrace and give a hug and welcome and greet, you want those people to be good people. Like you would never just invite some like negative person into your life and just hug them and treat them like $1 million if you didn't like, I mean, unless you wanted that. But most people don't want a bunch of negativity in their life. And so that was my biggest thing is like when she said that, I did want to challenge a little bit because it's not like she's on the right track, right? She's got the optimism, she's got the happiness, she's got all of the things, but what she's embracing and focusing on are only the things that are difficult. She's not embracing on the little micro miracles that are happening without the journey. And I'm not going to speak for her. But
she is in some situations, and she may be, right? Like, but what's important about that is like what you verbally say, like you're putting into your external world. Like what you're saying and what the words that you're using will literally define your reality.
Okay.
So
I read a quote and it said that the words you say are a symbol, like a symbol. They're symbolic of what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you truly believe internally, what you say externally, those words have symbolism in it of what you truly believe. So if you listen to the words of that individual, you would understand what they truly, truly believe.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Sorry to cut you
No,
off.
I love that. That's very interesting. But yeah, so like the words you use are defining your reality and your experience. And so like instead, what do you want to do rather than like embrace the suck? Because, you know, it's not to like put this idea around it that like nothing in life sucks or like, you know, nothing bad ever happens or, you know, you shouldn't embrace whatever comes your way. That's not the idea. The idea is changing the mindset and the words and your environment around it, right?
Absolutely.
So like instead of like embracing the suck, sure, circumstances happen, things change. Like like one thing that comes to my mind is like you're in the car on your way home and you have a 5-month-old in the back seat that decides to blow out all over their car seat.
Been there, done that, right?
They had to pull over on the side of the road and like, okay, that kind of sucks, right? Like, but how you respond to those type of situations like is going to make all the difference.
Right.
And, you know, in like business, like things happen, right? And we try everything we can to keep things within our control and you know, design our circumstance and do everything that's within our control, but things will still happen. There's things that, you know, maybe we don't understand or other people are going through something that you know, that translates over into your life. And anyways, so things will happen that you feel quote unquote suck. Yeah. It's just, that is what it is. But like, what do you do then to instead of embrace the suck, to actually create it into a environment where you're embracing the reality and you can change and you can create a new environment and a new feeling and a new emotion around it so that it no longer is like I'm embracing the suck, but like I'm doing, you know what I mean?
I'm embracing the feedback that I've been given. I'm working towards, I'm in a curious mindset of how to fix these things. I'm not welcoming it. I'm not happy with the things that I have, but I'm internally happy with myself to go and fix that problem that I'm experiencing right now. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like, hey, I'm just going to take on this crappy situation and just live with it. I am, like, at this point, I am so focused on, like, being curious and creating a better environment for myself during this time of feedback that I receive. Like, I'm not welcoming it into my life. I do not want this in my life. However, I am changing the whole idea and in the concept of what I'm welcoming in my life. I am showing myself that I can overcome these obstacles to continue to stay on the path of where I want to go.
Yeah.
Right?
That's perfect. Yep. And just to like think of a quick example, like let's say we're going on a vacation, just the two of us, and we're going to go to like this awesome all-inclusive resort somewhere incredible with beautiful views and all these like awesome things.
When is this happening?
I don't know. I'm working on that.
Okay.
And we're going to go like relax, take a much needed break, focus on, like envisioning some of our goals that we have. And we've created like this awesome trip. And let's just suppose that maybe like the week of the trip, something happens where the person who was planning on watching our kids no longer can. And maybe that's because of, a super unfortunate circumstance that, maybe they have to, whatever they have to do. Like there's some reason that's completely like beyond our immediate control, right? That they can no longer watch our kids. So what are we going to do?
Right.
Like, are we embracing the suck? No. Like, what will we do? Will we cancel the whole trip?
No.
Would we take our kids with us and just say, like, this may not look exactly like we thought or wanted originally, but we're still going to do it and we're going to have fun and we're going to still be able to create some of those memories that we envisioned in the first place.
And most importantly, those memories, like you said, we're still going to do them. It's just going to be different.
They might look a little different than you thought or, but you're still going to find joy. You're still going to like create amazing memories. Just looks a little different. But if you like go into that with like, oh, we're just going to embrace the suck. Like you're already supposing that like whether you cancel it all or you decide to take your kids, whichever, that it's going to suck. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Like that vacation probably is not going to be the best. And you're probably going to go home being like, oh, maybe we should have just canceled or like, you're automatically creating this negative mindset around it. And that creates this memory into like a negative.
Well, and not only that, then ask yourself, what am I missing by not allowing this opportunity to happen? Like start to be curious again, because what if this happens and you do take your kids with you and you end up having one of the best memorable vacations of your life. And then you realize, man, I can do the things I want still and go with my kids.
You learn something. Yeah.
But instead, like you said, you're instantly labeling it suck because it's not what you envisioned in the beginning. But then you're also not adaptable to the other opportunities that maybe there's something there that an experience, maybe it's a conversation that you've been yearning for, like that you truly, truly wanted to have with your child, or maybe it's a moment of family bonding opportunity. And maybe that's something else on your list of things you want or those experiences. And it's your unconscious mind pulling things together to create that moment for you. But because you're labeling it as the suck, you
think it wasn't how it was supposed to happen. Maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Maybe that's exactly what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And, a thought came to my mind when you said that, and now it's gone. But, so like, if you go on that vacation with like this, positive mindset and you go have a ton of fun, this applies to so many things. We're using this example of a vacation because I think it's easy to adapt, but
And we got vacation on the mind.
yeah,
It's snowing.
It's snowing and we have a reward if we hit our goals coming. So anyways,
Yes.
but I think that there's a lot of like confidence that comes from like looking back and going like, man, like that really didn't play out exactly like we originally thought it would. However, like we had a ton of fun. Like we were able to take like an unexpected situation and make it exactly what we want it to look like. So like taking those details and saying, okay, if this was exactly what we were going to do in the first place, what would we want it to look like? And do that. And then, whether this is like a vacation, because this could happen, hopefully not, but this is something that could happen. Or maybe it's, with your business, like circumstances changing with either employees or like you have to make shifts or adjustments in your product or services you offer. And so how are you going to shift and do that in like a positive way so that it actually serves you and your purpose in the long run?
I'm going to touch on the business for a second because I feel like I'm personally going through this right now. For some of you guys know, we have multiple businesses and a lot of them are focused in the real estate sector, and the real estate market is getting hit pretty hard right now because the interest rates are high. And initially, one could think, oh man, this sucks, right?
Yeah.
I'm embracing this suck. I'm going to do everything I can to get around it. However, with that mindset, you're only focusing on the negative aspects of it, like we talked about. Recently, I found myself becoming more creative and more intuitive and thinking larger than just the real estate itself, but how could I make this a bigger brand and more opportunity? Because I'm not embracing the suck, I'm embracing the feedback, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm curious. I'm not focusing on the negative aspects of these things, focusing on the positive.
So like instead of embracing the suck, you're embracing the opportunities that are there, that are presenting themselves.
Right, exactly. You want to talk about like the recession of 2008, the people that experienced a recession, not only experienced a financial recession, but they also experienced a mental recession in their mind, and that's what stopped them. The people that became filthy rich during the recession did not allow the recession outside to cloud their mind. They went through a mental harvest, for lack of a better word, because they were able to go look at a situation, become more intuitive, and change and adapt and make things easier, streamlined, and better. Therefore, they won. And they made a lot of money. And that's the thing is, same thing with business, is you're going to have slumps. Maybe not slumps, but you're going to have moments in your business that are challenging and that require you to grow. That's what makes entrepreneurial journeys so much freaking fun.
It's an adventure, my goodness.
Because nothing, it's just a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And that growth mindset elevates you. And if you make the right decisions and invest in yourself and do the things you know, and you have that forward-thinking vision, then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, we went from making X amount of money to now we've tripled that in a month. How cool is that? And now all of a sudden you're like, well, now I can go buy my things on my want list, right? That we've talked about. And that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah. I love it.
So here's the deal, guys. With this, you're no longer embracing the suck. The suck never existed. It's the feedback. It's the experiences that that definitely are going to throw a loop into your initial plan. But at what point did you decide that sucks? Maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe there's a new experience that's on a list of yours, a mental list. Maybe it's a list written down. That experience could pop up and actually create that experience along with this awesome vacation or whatever it is.
That maybe wouldn't have happened otherwise without that feedback.
At what point did you decide that you have to embrace what you describe as the suck instead of embracing the moment and
considering maybe it's actually there to serve you. Maybe it's actually there to support your higher purpose and what you ultimately want. And, I think sometimes as earthly beings, it's sometimes hard to see that and recognize that oh, this is actually like what I wanted and needed and really what I wanted in the long run. It's just, maybe didn't quite fit in the way that we thought. But then you step back and you're like, oh my gosh, that made all the sense in the world. But it's all about your mindset and perspective around it too. So that's the biggest thing. Like you get to choose the outcome.
Right. You get to choose what you want to embrace. And may I suggest and challenge you guys to embrace the opportunities that come instead of the suck itself. Embrace the opportunity to elevate, right?
Yeah.
Instead of embracing the rat that comes in the house, like old, what's that one Disney show?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, with the rat chef that he's
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille's dad who's like, this is the way things are.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't embrace that.
What opportunities did you see that you may not have otherwise?
Sure.
Embrace
the opportunities. And like I said, this particular client, like she was right there. She's close. And when she said the suck, we just had to go back and install the new idea of instead of the suck, the opportunity, embrace the moment. You guys live in the present. Don't just because your kids may have ruined a vacation one time, or just because your kids may have gotten sick and threw up everywhere in the hotel, all over themselves on a cruise ship. I'm not saying that
that's ever happened.
But just because
it's your choice if that ruins it or not.
Right. And that does not mean that the next journey you're going to have that same experience. It only means if you allow it, like that negativity, if you allow it from the past, then it will creep in again. But if you embrace the present and the future of what you want, then you never have to worry about all these other things in the past that, quite frankly, don't matter anymore. It's come, it's gone, it's served its purpose, and there's a new purpose ahead of you.
And as long as you've taken the learning, like of, what happened and what you can adjust or what you need to learn, then let it be in the past and live in the moment. You look and move forward in a positive way based on the things you have learned, but don't allow like your previous or, old responses to cripple the now and the future of what you're trying to get to, right? Like, I love that. Because while our past is so important because there's so much we learn, it's, that's why it's our past. So we can learn and we can live for the now and for the future instead of dwelling on, the past. So
100%. I'm going to leave you guys with this thought is that like God himself is a forward thinking individual. He had the creation of the earth. Then he sent Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ fulfilled the atonement. And then after that, there's the second coming. There's always a plan ahead. God doesn't go back and look at the sins of the people that have already paid the price. He doesn't go back and say, oh, you can't go to heaven because of this sin you did 10 years ago that you fixed, right? He forgives and he continues to move on in the present and in the future. And it's the same thing. You may have experienced what you would call the suck before, but the suck never exists anymore because you're living in the present. Now you're embracing the opportunity and the feedback you're receiving. Therefore, could you really embrace the suck if the suck didn't exist?
I like that. So get it out of there, just like the comfort zone.
Get it out of there. So you guys, thank you so much for listening to Matrimonial Merger. We get deep. These episodes, Ambry, are like...
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And like, it really is fun for us. Like this particular person that we were talking with, like...
Amazing individual. Amazing.
Oh my gosh. So much respect and love for this person. And like, it is so exciting to like see things click for people. And then also like for us, like it helps us see things in a different and new way because each and every one of us like lives a different model of the world. We see things in a different way, but like actually being able to dissect and understand those things and understand yourself more gives you a much greater ability to be able to then go out and like help others
create
how much joy does that bring? Like it's incredible. So,
and you create a life that you want to live.
yeah,
Therefore, you have your ultimate purpose. And I think that that's what's super cool.
that's what we all want.
We could tell you another story of someone that literally 18 years old, getting ready to leave house and go do stuff, and just could not find a purpose. We sat down for 45 minutes, did an amazing exercise, and I texted him today and just said, hey, like, what are things looking like now that you've done that? And he said, oh my gosh, it blew my mind. He's like, I'm now find my purpose in the things I truly want, and I'm doing things, and life has more meaning.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it is just as simple as like aligning yourself.
Yep.
Like, and understanding,
So cool.
like it's amazing. And we're really happy that we get to like talk through these things and share little bits and pieces of these nuggets. I don't know what we could call them on this podcast. It's so much fun, and we love to hear from you guys. So keep sending us like feedback and thoughts, experiences, like
share the episode. That drives us. Like when we see you guys share on Instagram or any social media, that is like,
I feel like Logan, my cousin Logan, he deserves a special shout out because he is always sharing our new episodes, and it really does mean a lot. And so thank you when you take the time to do that. It motivates us and helps us feel so grateful for the community that we are creating. And
I'm going to do one more plug here.
Yeah.
Because I'm super excited, and I totally wanted to say this on the episode. November 8th, we are doing a breathwork session. And for those that are not familiar with breathwork is an opportunity for you to really focus on your controlled breathing and to really identify. And it is amazing. It's euphoric. And it's a little weird. I'll be honest.
I mean, it's one of those things, if you've never done it, it's like, it makes you curious for sure. But
absolutely,
it kind of helps you go into a meditative state to be able to understand and unlock things about yourself and, help you. And what I think is really powerful about that too, I know we were like ending the episode, but we live in a time and a world where like chaos all the time.
Yep.
And especially if you're looking for it 24/7, there's opportunity to see negativity, chaos, whatever, like it's there. And also like with all the devices that we have at our fingertips, we're working on our computers, on our phones, like looking at social media, like our like devices are, for a lot of us, very, very like prevalent in our lives. Like they're there all day. And so sometimes it's hard to be able to take a step back and just have like quiet, intentional time where you just focus on yourself and focus on the feelings that come. And those feelings are powerful.
Yeah.
Like the feelings that you feel and the things that your mind hears in those silent, quiet, meditative moments are powerful. Like
they could change your life.
The most powerful things you can ever do for yourself.
Yeah.
So
one of the
if you're curious, reach out and ask us questions, because
just one of the biggest things that I had from that breath work was I went from thinking I understood my purpose to truly understanding what it is that I was meant to do on this earth. And this podcast is we started the podcast before we did the breath work, but this podcast
took a
huge new meaning.
Yeah.
And that's why the content and the things that you guys are hearing is even more prevalent, because there's become more study, more research, more effort put into this show, because there are people, and you know who you are, that need to hear this. Yeah. And so that was really cool. So the breath work, there's 15 spots open. It's $50 a person.
Yeah, it'll basically be like first come, first serve. Once you reserve your spot and pay for your spot,
it'll be in Salt Lake. And so for those that are not with us or in other states listening, thank you for listening. Yeah. We promise this will continue, and there will be opportunities to come and do breath works. Maybe not here in Salt Lake, but maybe in a state near you.
Yeah, and definitely that can be organized like in other states just for a breath work session, but we'll be doing, retreats and other things that will be like a weekend long or a couple days where it will make sense to like fly in and come. And maybe for you right now, it makes sense to just fly in for a breathwork session.
Please come and do it. That'd be freaking awesome. Yeah.
If that's, makes sense for you, do it. But opportunities like this, like we want to kind of create monthly things. However, like there will be annual and maybe biannual events and retreats that we do that kind of span a few days. And it would make all the sense in the world to come and to be a part of that and spend a few days just empowering yourself and elevating your mindset. And
I'd love to get the fan from Germany that listens to our episode to come.
Dang, yeah.
That'd be cool. So you're invited,
Shout out
by the
to
way.
you.
Yes, please come. But you guys, we appreciate you listening. And
thank you so
Breathwork, Tuesday, November 8th,
Save
7
the date
o'clock.
for that.
Let me know if you want to come. And we would love to have you. It is an amazing experience. If you've never done it before,
It's worth a try.
it's like all the proceeds literally go to just the venue and the person that's conducting.
Yeah.
Like this is just a once in a lifetime opportunity for some, and for others, this is an opening to a new chapter of life, and it's amazing.
Exactly.
So, thank you guys. 5-star review us. We love it, and appreciate you guys listening, and cannot wait to bring forth more opportunities and more episodes like this.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, and we will talk to you again next week. Have a great week, everyone.